I played World of Warcraft on and off for 15 years. I was never a progression raider or anything, but I did play a lot of WoW, and one of my favorite things was creating alts and leveling them to max. It felt so good to have my own little army of characters to do whatever I needed them to do. Well, besides healing. I did, however, get into tanking the last few years I played, and I liked it for the most part. Aside from the crippling anxiety I experienced each and every time I queued for a random dungeon, it was a great time. But back to my point, I've always loved having alts, even when I didn't know I needed them, but especially when I knew I needed them. In WoW, alts are useful, whether you want to have that tank or healer in your back pocket in case your party loses one, or if you just want shorter queue times, if you want to be able to dominate the crafting market on all fronts, or if you just like having one of each kind. Which brings us to reason number 2 why I am leaving WoW for Final Fantasy XIV. The jobs. In WoW, alts are not required, unless you want to experience the full story of Shadowlands, that is. But anyone who has a few is going to be at a greater advantage in a lot of situations, so it's almost a given that if you play WoW, you play multiple characters. The thing is, that problem of needing alts is an arbitrary one created by the game designers, limiting how much you can do on one character. Now, I don't know if player retention was part of the decision, but I do know that for me, if I'm trying to level and gear 8 alts before the next patch, I'm more than likely to stay subbed until it drops than if I had just one character. Unless I get bored to tears and unsub to play something else. So, what's different in 14? Well, you don't need alts. I mean, you don't ever need alts, but, well, you know what I mean. There's nothing compelling you to create more characters in 14 because you can do literally everything on one character. That's right, bringing back the tried and true job system from many Final Fantasy games before it. In 14, your character is not Doeg demon hunter who fishes sometimes and tinkers around with engineering, but not enough to have ever gotten Jeeves. No, your character in 14 is Cherith Cute Story, warrior of light. Jack of all trades, master of as many as time allows you to master. A somewhat loquacious title, but an accurate one nonetheless. Yes, in Final Fantasy XIV you do choose a class when you begin the game, but you don't have to toil over that decision because you can change your mind like a fickle high school girlfriend whenever your unpredictable passions prompt you to. And that's as often as you want. For most jobs, it's as simple as finishing a quick quest to unlock the class. Others you'll have to work for, but they're worth it. Let's use some real fake world examples to illustrate. In World of Warcraft, I had a monk named Walker, a death knight named Martyrio, a hunter named Melchizedek, plus a demon hunter, rogue, shaman, shadow priest, and a couple of druids. Each of these had to level through mostly the same story content to get to max level, with a couple of notable exceptions where Blizzard did make easier on the alts. In Final Fantasy XIV, I have a warrior of light, Cherith Cute Story. Not defined by any class or job, he is the warrior of light. He is a monk, a dark knight, and archer, 3 classes similar to those named above, and well, every other job. Though I haven't unlocked the blue mage and a few others that require a certain level on the base class, but I will get around to those eventually. See, if I'm leveling my samurai job and I decide I want to tank some dungeons, I don't log out and then back in on a different tune. No, I just do this. Hold on. I don't think you understand just how big a deal this is. Watch me change from samurai to gunbreaker to ninja to blacksmith to fisher. Hey, Cherith, slow down. I can't keep up. See what I mean? See how quick and easy that is? Yeah, and you can save armor sets for each job so that when you switch, it automatically changes your gear. And bonus, you have a separate armory chest that holds all that stuff, so your bags can stay clean. Relatively. Also, those other jobs there, the Disciples of the Hand and Land, those are your crafting and gathering jobs, and you can do all of them on that same tune as well. And they're not just side professions either. They're their own jobs complete with rotations, their own gear and special abilities, and we'll talk more about those in a future video. So, all that story you have to experience over and over on each alt in other MMOs, that's just not how 14 rolls. They give you this amazing main story quest experience, then they tell you that you never have to ever go through it again unless you want to. There's a New Game Plus mode that lets you do that if you choose, or you can just make an actual alt. See, instead of going through that story over and over again, in 14, you've got job quests that you do every 5 levels on each job. They're really cool side storylines that focus on each specific job in the game. Or there are the million exclamation points you ran past as you were doing the main story quest in 14. You're actually not supposed to take all those quests as you go through the MSQ. They're there to level alt jobs and maybe give you a change of pace if you want it. You can do that, or you can do duty roulettes. They're like random dungeon finder in World of Warcraft, but with more options. Each one gives you a bonus for first completion of the day, plus an additional bonus, experience and money that is, if you were the role that is being requested, and yes, DPS does make it in from time to time. Or you can do fates, which are these cool randomish events that pop up out in the open world that everyone in the area can help with. Those offer experience and currency as well. Or you can do your hunting log, which is this fun way to level. See, yeah, in 14 there are a bunch of logs. Not that kind of log. Now come on, that's just gross. Yeah, that's your one. And that one's a hunting log. Alright, just stop. So in the hunting log, you'll find a list of monsters and bad guys to murder in sets of 2, 3, or 4. And it even tells you the zone and general area for each. And since porting around the world is as easy as attuning to the Aetheryte network in each zone and then paying a nominal fee, it's super quick and easy to zip around the world and lay waste to monsters just because some list told you to. And yeah, you get a massive bonus experience and money every time you complete an entry. Or you can do leave quests, which are these short missions you can pick up in each area based on your level, and each one replenishes every time you finish one, another one pops up, so you can just keep doing those. These offer experience, currency, crafting items, and gear. Now, all the while, through all of these things listed above and more, your challenge log is tracking everything you do, just like your iPhone is always listening. And that challenge log isn't just tracking everything you do, it's also dropping loads and loads of experience and money into your lap whenever you complete a challenge, such as finishing 3 dungeons via the duty finder, or completing a hunt log, or gambling, or racing your chocobo, and on and on and on. I feel like this has become a video on ways to level, so I'm going to go ahead and get back on track. Jobs in 14 are awesome. There are loads of cool war and magic classes and bunches of others for those who wish to carve a more peacefulish path through Eorzea. There's no need to roll up another tune when you see that shiny new class in the new expansion. Just grab the quest and you're in. And because of all this, the jobs in Final Fantasy XIV are reason number 2 I'm leaving WoW for Final Fantasy XIV. But, as promised, here is a con for that pro. If you make alts, at least in part, to have a different look, like if you have an elf and you want a gnome, well, in 14 you cannot change races on your character without buying something called Fantasia on the Mog Station, and that is $10. So you'll have to make an alt character if you want a different race. And in that case, you do have to go through the main story quest again. So in a way, 14 is way more alt-friendly than WoW when you look at alts for their utility, but less alt-friendly if you make alts purely or mostly for the aesthetic value. Though, a pro for this con for the other pro is that you can create glamour plates and apply them very easily each time you change some armor pieces, and keep all your jobs in different fashions, so changing your look is as easy as changing your job, and you all know by now how easy that is. Also, a bonus con, since I gave you a bonus pro, there are no bank alts. Seriously, you can't mail things to people who aren't your friends, and you can't be friends with characters on the same account. You do get 2 free retainers, and then however many more you want to buy, up to 7 from the Mog Station for $2 a month, which are a whole different video. But one of their functions is to hold, or retain, just got that, your craft for you. Also, you have that armory chest I mentioned, your chocobo saddlebags once you get a chocobo at level 20, plus an armoire to hold seasonal items and other special gear pieces, and a vanity to store all the gear you don't use but you want to keep for glamour purposes. But yeah, no bank alts, so sorry goblins. And that's it, part 2 down, 3 to go. Hey, I'm also streaming 14 about once a week here on YouTube and on Twitch. The stream is called Final Fantasy and Rum, so maybe dust off that bottle of Captain Morgan, hang out and chat while I level alt jobs, fish, tank dungeons, and what have you. Cal Jameson signing off.